when I was a teenager, I got sick, and I went to the doctor. They gave me something. It didn't take my pain away. But I went home and I was just hearing to put my hands on my place where I was hurting and to pray and ask for healing. And so I did that. And I made myself feel better. I healed myself. So, and the pain never came back. I do go with a holistic approach to healing, meaning that I will use some of everything in the healing process. All of those things help to bring us into balance when we need it. And the more we could do, the better we will feel. You'll do what feels right for you. And that is how the medicine works. You be attracted to what you need. And when you do it, you should feel a difference, a shift of some sort.
Greetings, fellow survivors, thrivers, and healers. I am Nebethet, founder of Thrivers Inspire Healing, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. So today we have an amazing guest by the name of Kajara, the Niyaya Nebethet. Am I saying it correctly? And so she will be here today to discuss how she has come into the healing arena, being an amazing healer in our community. So please do introduce yourself and let us know how did you get into this?
Okay. Well, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share with you and your listeners. And I am Rekhit Kajara Nebethet. I am the founder of the Sekhi Arts Temple. And we are a spiritual and African-centered community of healers. And so we have been doing this work now for over 15 years. And we are here to help teach our people how to heal naturally and traditionally. So we promote natural living, living according to the laws of Ma'at, which is living with righteousness. And of course, embracing our own culture as well, especially our ancient Kemetic culture. So I am very thankful that I've been chosen to do this work. And I started many years ago. Really, it was a spiritual process for me. I went through a series of initiations in a 2-year period and a lot of cleansing and healing. And during that time, I began to get messages for my next steps and direction of my life. So before that, I had been working for myself as an artist and selling jewelry, going to festivals, vending and such. I was also a teacher before I started doing this. I taught at a few African-centered schools.
Wow.
Yeah, when my children were much younger. I even helped to start a school in Richmond, Virginia, a couple schools actually.
Oh, that's
But
amazing.
I have been a teacher for about 30 years. So um, that process, my own personal healing journey really led me to doing the work that I do currently, which is to, again, teach my people how to heal using energy, using our own personal power, doing natural things, working with herbs, sound therapy, crystals, things like that. And especially Reiki, when most people are familiar with the Reiki.
Yes, yes.
But we do what I call Black people Reiki. It's Kemetic. We're not using Asian symbols because we are not Asian. And so we use our own symbols, we use our own traditions. In fact, our process really works with the laws of Ma'at. That's the foundation of Sekhi Kemetic Reiki is Ma'at, living with those attributes, order, balance, harmony, truth, righteousness. Yes.
Okay. That's amazing. So was Reiki the first modality of the healing that you began learning and teaching?
So when I was a teenager, I got sick, and I went to the doctor. They gave me something. It didn't take my pain away. But I went home and I was just hearing to put my hands on my place where I was hurting and to pray and ask for healing. And so I did that. And I made myself feel better. I healed myself. So, and the pain never came back. So, years later, when I heard about Reiki and I read about it, and I said to myself, well, this is something that I already know how to do. It sounds like exactly what I did, when I healed myself many years ago. So, from that point, I did take a class and learn Reiki. But however, as I said, I was already doing some other healing work. My mother is a healer, my grandmother was a healer. So I've seen a lot of more natural healers, coming up. And I did learn some of their modalities as well. So it's a part of a bigger picture, a bigger process, I would
Yeah,
say.
I bet. And so so you said that you did the healing, the hands-on healing for yourself and
Yes.
took those classes. So how was that's interesting. So you found that most of your healing is more on an intuitive level. Were you always um, connected with like the Kemetic side of it, or was it just something that just kind of came along the way?
I would say that I've always been interested in Kemetic culture. Even as a child, I remember being fascinated with the pyramids and just the beauty of the Kemetic culture. When I would go to museums, I would just get stuck. And so, I feel like it's just a part of, my soul vibration. And so that is just a natural thing. Um, but I was a very avid reader, and I was an only child for many years. So I don't know. I think a lot of only children kind of like we talk to ourselves and can become more aware that there is other energies around us because it's just us a lot of times. So I knew, from my childhood that I was not alone, that it was energy around me that I couldn't necessarily see all the time, but I could feel them, I could hear them. And so, I'm a medium to the ancestors. Um, I hear dead people and communicate with the spiritual realm, and it's just one of my gifts. I've been able to do this for me most all of my life. I was gonna say many years, but all the years that I remember,
Yeah, yeah.
I've been aware and here. I was telling my children the other day, following your intuition and your spirit guides, and going to a certain place, and you get a certain feeling, and then you just hear this message saying it's time to go. That type of thing has happened to me so many times, especially when I was younger growing up in Chicago. I would sometimes find myself in places I needed to get away from. So that's what I remember hearing it, the most.
That is good that you got that information on listening to your intuition. I felt like I grew up intuitive and I too was really connected to the ancestors since a child. However, in my personal environment, I didn't have those other type of healers, and those individuals who were really into that. So I felt like I had to kind of go it alone.
Mm.
But I know one of the things that you do talk a lot about are the
Oh yes.
yes, yes, the different Well, on this book you call it chakras, but I like to keep it in the spirit of the ancestors and how they, call it. So can you
The
elaborate a little
Aritus.
bit on how that allows us to um, stay healthy in our lives and balance ma'at?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, working with our chakras, what we call our ritus, it helps us to understand our energy, which, many, excuse me, traditions talk about our own life force energy, our prana or chi or ki. We call it Sekhi. And so we don't really think about it too often unless we're taking martial arts or yoga or something like that.
Right.
But it really is a big driving force in our lives. So when we understand more about our energy and especially our ritus, then we understand how we are connected to the planets, the animals, the elements, the sounds, colors, everything, because everything vibrates at frequencies and we feel those frequencies through our own energy centers. So if we are open, so, like you and I, we're open, we know about these things. There are a lot of people whose energy is kind of blocked, it's closed, is because of their lifestyle and because of what ones eat, what we eating, what we give our energy to. We have to remember we're not just eating with our mouths, but we also eat with our eyes and our ears. So if we are feeding ourselves the news, and stuff like that, that has a really different, fearful type of frequency, is going to affect our energy. In the same way as if we're, just out in nature, tuning into the frequency of everything that's natural, that too will affect our energy. So the fact that we don't know that makes us sick. We become sick mentally, depressed, stress, anxiety, all of those things, even anger can be considered a sickness because we're supposed to get mad, but we're not supposed to stay mad for days or years. Once it becomes a long experience, then we know, it's crossed the line. So when we understand more about our energy and how it works within us, then we're able to control it and we can use it and we can do great things like our ancestors did because, they were able to fly, whether it was physically or spiritually in some form. They were able to project themselves. They were able to project their energy to move things that they did not touch with their hands, or even to speak and have conversations across the world without even having a cell phone or using their mouths. So, that is moving on a high level of high frequency level, high energy. Um,
Mhm.
and that's when we were at our greatest, to which we shall return once again.
Yes, yes. You did speak a little bit on nutrition. Can you elaborate a little bit more when it comes to healing by way of nutrition?
Yes, absolutely. So I am a student of the great Dr. Sebi and the great Dr. Africa, and they both talked a lot about disease beginning in our colon. So, here in America, we are eating foods that have been commercialized and they're not necessarily natural foods. So, the effect of it is that we become malnourished and have cancer and diabetes and have to get on dialysis and all of these things because we're not getting the proper nutrition through the foods that we're eating. In fact, a lot of, especially fast food places, are selling plastic to people. and calling it food. Um, Clone meat and all kind of things like that have already been introduced to society.
Yeah.
And so it's had a negative effect on, I mean, like nowadays there's so many more diseases than ever before because of the preservatives and the quality of the food that we are able to receive. So when we're able to eat foods that are electric, foods that are alkaline, and they have high nutritional content, then you can actually feel the difference in your body. Like it just really revitalizes your energy, which is what food is meant to do. So that is a part of the process that's going on that right now, the genocide and things like that, is the poisoning of the food, the poisoning of the water, the poisoning of the air, which is in turn poisoning the people. And in order for us to survive, we have to give ourselves the highest quality foods as possible. And then, of course, to also consume herbs and things like that to assist us with the detoxing and clearing of negative energy and toxin, pollution, and poison.
So that's another thing that a lot of people are concerned about is how do we go about getting these pure or high vibrational foods, the ones that have the most nutrition in it?
Well, there is a wave of farmers in a lot of cities now. So going to a farmer's market where you actually can talk to the person who grew the food, that is a big difference. Also, they have um, larger farmers markets in a lot of cities as well that you can go to and just buy food from. Maybe not local area farmers, but other farmers who can share their food. Like here in Atlanta, we have a couple of farmers markets, one in DeKalb County, where they get food from all over the world, and is more pure than the food you would get at Kroger's or one of those local grocery stores. Also, the Asian markets, going to a Korean market or any Asian grocery store, their food is going to be much more fresh. Um, the fruits and vegetables and such, they'll be a better quality than the regular grocery stores. Of course, you have your natural food stores, health, what you call it, Whole Foods, Earth Fare, those types of places also are good options to get food that is more pure. But you do have to read, make sure you're paying attention,
Yes.
because they put all kind of products in different box and packaged items. And then also you got to beware of the seedless fruit, which nobody wants that. We don't want to eat that. It doesn't have any, if they took the seeds out, they took out the nutritional value as well. So yeah, it's like eating cardboard almost.
Wow. So, have you ever worked with when you have because you do have healing retreats and things of that nature, have you ever worked with individuals that may have had chronic illness and, you know?
Absolutely. Yes, I've been doing this work for a long time and have helped people with a variety of ailments, including helping to bring people with cancer into where the cancer is not active anymore, remission, that state. Yeah, we've helped people with their clearing, purification of the toxins. We do a lot of detoxing and fasting as a group. And then also in my own personal work with my clients. It's been a lot. Helping people with mental instabilities, those who have other like heart issues, blood concerns, kidney stuff, pretty much almost everything, I would say.
Wow. And then For people with the mental uh, ailments, do you also do like a similar regimen with the eating as well as any other Reiki or work that you do? Is it like almost the same for almost everyone, or is it like?
No, it's not the same for everyone because different things require different treatments.
Mhm.
So it really, and I've also helped a lot of women with the womb issues. So someone dealing with womb issues needs some different types of things than someone dealing with the mental instabilities, right?
Yeah.
Now, there are some things that everybody needs in their healing process. And that is the Reiki part, the energy healing, because that can help with everything. But when it comes to the the other parts, the crystal therapy, the sound therapy, it varies for everyone, and especially the herbal remedies, they're gonna vary as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it again depends on what the person is dealing with. So I do go with a holistic approach to healing, meaning that I will use some of everything in the healing process because I found that it's better to try more things and you'll figure out what works as opposed to just not giving a client a variety of healing uh, prompts. Basically, is what they are. So
Okay.
working with the meal plan is a part of it. There might be some fasting and detoxing that's needed. There might be some binary tones that can be used. Um, other forms. I might tell you go buy these crystals and put them in the bed and sleep with them for a few months or whatever.
Yeah.
Colors, all of those things help to bring us into balance when we need it. And the more we could do, the better we will feel.
Well, that's good. That's good. So can you show some of you have some books, other books besides the ones that I
Yeah.
showed here?
So yeah, I did. I just realized I went all around the way talking about Aritu, but so the Revitalize Your Chakras workbook is our most recent book, other than our coloring book. And I really love this book because it's a lot of exercises, meditations, prayers, recipes, all kinds of different things to help you to balance out those chakras. So a lot of times people think it's just the colors. Oh, I just need to eat these colorful foods and I just need to, and it's really not that simple.
Right.
If it was, everybody would be healed by now. But it goes much deeper than that. And the work is personal. Like you really have to do what you need in this process. And so,
I did notice it's very extensive in this
thank
book
you.
for each of the energy seats. Aritu.
Right, yeah, me too.
Yes.
So you have many choices on things to do. And,
Yes.
of course, you might not do everything. You'll do what feels right for you. And
Right.
that is how the medicine works. You be attracted to what you need. And when you do it, you should feel a difference, a shift of some sort.
Yes.
So we definitely encourage people to get that. It's on Amazon and Raseki store. And it has a partner, which is the Revitalize Your Chakras journal. So the journal gives you questions to ask yourself and to answer to assist you in that healing process. Because each of those Aritus, they come with lessons. And if we don't get the lessons of them, then our energy is going to stay stuck or unbalanced. So, for example, the root, we call it the Sekhi Center, is associated with our time as a child, right? If we had trauma during our childhood, it throws us off for the rest of our lives. It makes it hard for us to learn how to take care of ourselves properly because we did not get that fully when we were children. So that type of thing can affect your root and will show up and present as being unbalanced until, and I don't care how many red crystals you get, how many red foods, until you deal with that inner child work, it's going to stay unbalanced. Okay. So that is what the journal is really helping us to see the deeper level of the chakra healing, the Aritu healing, and to get to the root of it all and to really help ourselves to open up, because most times we don't even fully know how to process our experiences. Many of us, when we go through stuff, we just try to act like it didn't happen, or we bury our feelings and hold them in, and it changes us. And if we don't deal with them, it can turn into disease. Those very emotions, which you cannot see, can turn into a hard little rock, and it can be a tumor. It could be in your womb, it could be in your breast. Um, it'll pop up in the weakest area. So dealing with our stuff, our inner child work, our shadow work, um, all of the things that we don't like to speak about, we need to talk about.
Yes.
And that's how the healing happens.
Right, right. So let's say, for example, a person like me, right? So a lot of people on this channel know that I've dealt with lupus, which is an autoimmune issue. And what would you say would have been the like the mental or emotional cause of that? Because I've heard some things, like what it may have been. So that would be the immune system attacking the body itself.
Right. So that is really, it speaks to you having a disconnect with yourself,
Mhm.
and even just not having that inner peace. So I would say it could be like from your childhood, the things that you wanted to do, the things that made you happy, you weren't allowed to do them. And you were maybe told to do some other things that your parents wanted you to do. And you did them because you had to, but you didn't like it. And so that created a disconnect within yourself, because now you're not able to be true to yourself. Um, that can be an example of how our experiences in childhood affect us when we
Right.
get older. Right. Is that what it was you had?
Yeah, that, and I've also heard like suppressing not being our full personality, potential, because I felt a lot of times like I was either suppressed or told, like suppressing my voice, not being
Right.
able to really express myself. So all that
Yes.
energy that I want to get out, it's like, okay, it goes back in. So
Right.
I think that might have been part of it.
And so your medicine is to
Mhm.
be at peace with yourself
Yeah.
in all the ways that you are, and to be true to yourself,
Mhm.
and to stand up for yourself. Don't fight against yourself. That immune system, actually, Sekhmet is the goddess who is associated with the immune system. So
Oh,
I would also encourage you to work with her as well, and just ask her, to, because it's really just a shift, and that's what Dr. Sebi would do as a healer, would take people on a fast and completely help them to reset their bodies. So that also would be some good medicine for you. But I'd be more than happy to talk to you more later.
I know. I know.
Yeah. We just need a little consultation session, sugar.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I actually have been working on that more with self-expression, and having this platform has actually helped me to open up a little bit more because I just
Yes.
been so, and I just have so much to share. So
Yes. That's good. Excellent.
yeah,
I'm happy
yeah,
for you.
yeah.
Mhm.
So, is there anything else that you would like to share when it comes to healing and complementary or part of your journey, or you know?
Yes, so we do have a few more books. This
Mhm.
is one of our new projects, the Segment Coloring Book,
Okay.
and it is a partner. It's some beautiful pictures in here. I colored some. but it's a partner to our oracle cards
Oh, okay.
that are on the way as well. They are about to be published. Give thanks and praises. Do I the turn?
Yes, I seen you
So we
had it
do.
coming out.
Oh, I'm just super excited to bring these cards out. It has been a work. It has been a bit of work, I'm telling you, but a beautiful process. You know, anytime we do these types of projects, it enlightens us even more. I was speaking to the illustrator, and she said it was such a beautiful process for her own spiritual journey, working with Sekhmet. You know, it's been powerful. So I'm super grateful and can't wait to see how the cards are received once we get them out there.
Yeah.
And also, we have a few trips coming up. We're planning to go to Sedona for a Kemetic Reiki level 1 and 2. You out that way, aren't you?
Yeah.
Even this year. That'll be at the end of April.
Okay.
And then we'll be going to Jamaica in June for our solstice retreat as well. Yes, I love Jamaica. I can't wait to go and just that some about the Caribbean islands, the greenery, the fruits is very healing and rejuvenating. So I would say Sedona is very healing, but it has that dry, more ancient energy. The Jamaica trip is going to be just sun, fun, the beach, all of that. And that is in June. We are also planning a trip to Kemet this year. So
Okay.
yes, we went a couple years ago. We missed last year, but this year we are going again, and that's going to be in August the 18th through the 30th. And Kemet is just, I say all of us should go there at least once, more than once if you can, because it's such a beautiful, powerful, spiritual experience. Like just being there amongst those sacred sites, being able to touch and feel the energy is nothing that can compare to that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Going into the pyramids and riding the camel, eating that good food.
Mm. Yeah, I seen your videos and I seen your beautiful photos inside the temples. The
Yes,
sun
yes.
coming down, you know.
It was just powerful. So
Yeah.
we can't wait to go again. We still have some spaces left if you all want to take that journey with us. They
Okay.
do not require any vaccinations. They don't even require any tests of any sort for us to get in
Oh,
this time. Yes, and it is an all-inclusive trip. We're going to be leaving from New York and meeting, and then going into Cairo. We'll go to 13 different sites, 3 different cities. We'll be cruising the Nile River. Woo! It's gonna be so nice. If you ever wanted to go to Kemet, this is
mm.
your time. We got the price right for you. And yes, we would love for you to join us going there. And also, we planning to go to Brazil in November.
Okay.
So we have a little following in Brazil. They have been watching our YouTube videos, listening
Mhm.
to our music, and following us for a good 5 years. And so we are very excited. We're going to go to Bahia. We'll be doing some capoeira, doing some drumming, some healing. And, that is my message really for us as a people. Like, now is our time to heal. We have to heal from 400 plus years of oppression. We are healing from racism while still living in a racist society.
Yeah.
But we still have to heal. We
Yeah.
got to just, rise above it within ourselves.
Mhm.
We have to heal from our own relationships, from our past, from our childhood. There's so much that we are healing from. And I'm just very thankful and excited that we are more open to seeing that we need to heal. More
Yes.
of us are interested in yoga and crystals and sound healing. And it's an exciting time for us as a people, despite what they show on the TV. Don't worry about that stuff. Worry
Well, it
about
don't even
us. Worry
match.
about, yes, think about
It's not even
yourself.
my reality what I see on
Yes.
TV. I'm like, that's not my life.
Exactly. That is not our reality. The same thing with the COVID stuff. Only the people who were really putting energy into it are the ones who got sick. most of us was like, that's not for me. So I'm not, that's not even coming over here at all. So it's the same thing, as long as we tune it into ourselves, we're going to shift the collective consciousness, shift it into a love vibration for ourselves and for each other. And that is the greatest healer of all is love. So once we love ourselves once again, and we tune into our power, and we really stop fighting each other, the older people against the younger people, the men against the women, all of that stuff, we gotta, grow beyond it. We gotta grow up. We gotta heal beyond it. And that is my message. Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate you taking your time to come and speak with everyone about what you do and the healing that you do and how we can use certain modalities as a complementary to whatever we are doing to help stay healthy. Oh my goodness. So once again, I will link your website and wherever we can find you. What is it? Your website, your Instagram.
Yes, we have Raseki Healing, RasekiStore.com. We have Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, all over. Just look up Raseki Arts Temple.
All right. And with that being said, everyone, thank you for joining. Please like, subscribe, and until next time.
Until next time, Uncle Justin.